Ladies and gentlemen, 3 5-minute rounds for the light heavyweight championship title. When the bell rings, the man in charge, your referee, Kevin Mulholland. In the blue corner, weighing at 205 pounds, wearing black and gold trunks, his professional record, 2 wins, no defeats, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Freestyle, representing Team Dallas. Ladies and gentlemen, Lamont Lister. His opponent in the red corner, weighing in at 203 pounds, wearing black trunks, an unblemished record at 4 wins, no defeats, from Independence, West Virginia. Freestyle champion, Josh Rhodes.
Fucking DeSoto.
For the video. Stick right with us because I promise you there are going to be 2 more fights and neither one of these look like they'll end up with a precision jiu-jitsu hold. We're going to see some knockouts now, I think. Both of the guys in the next fight, Josh Rhodes and Noah Hofer, both like to bang, they both like to strike, and Lord only knows what might happen when we see the former heavyweight champion of the world, Ray Mercer, take on Kimbo. Kimbo, a big underground fighter, street fighter, bare knuckles fighter. He refers all the way back to the great John L. Sullivan. He's as wild as they come, and he'll be taking on Ray Mercer. Somebody's going to get knocked out in that fight. Let's go up to our host position now, and let's go to Dan Severn with Frank Trigg.
Well, Frank, we've got the light heavyweights that will be coming up here right now. The 205-pounders, we got Josh Rhodes is going to be taking on Noah Inhofer right now. And as the colonel was saying right there, what a match this really should be right here.
You know, both these guys like to throw the hands. Obviously, they're both strikers. There's not going to be much ground game. Of course, Noah's famous for leaving a show because he had a problem with a female friend of his and decided to leave. He blew a huge opportunity. This is a shot to kind of get himself back up on top and kind of get himself back in the MMA world. We lost a lot of respect, not only from me, but from other fighters in the game because we kind of know how hard it is to do what you do. Now, with Josh Rhodes, he's got a great hand game just as well as Noah does, but the thing is, the guy that's going to implement the jab earlier and follow it up with combination is going to win this fight. Most of the fights we've seen tonight are guys that aren't pure strikers like these 2 guys are. What they've been doing is just been throwing quick hitter punches.
Combinations so they can get into the body there.
And they get out of the way. These 2 guys, if they throw combinations quick, they throw them straight, they throw them snappy, we can see a knockout very, very early, but it's also going to go to a very long decision, being very technical, because both these guys are great strikers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if they got to keep their composure out there, because, I mean, the odds are both these men are going to end up getting struck in the process. I mean, it's something interesting. There was Rhodes on their farm in West Virginia. They actually had a pit built so they can actually do some regular pit fighting. I don't know if they're just having a hard time finding any workout partners that kept running out onto him or not. But I thought that was very interesting.
I talked to him just before the fight started. I said it took him and about 3 of his buddies 3 days to dig about a 7-foot deep pit with a 3-foot high berm wrapped all the way around it. So if you got in it, the only way to get out of it was somebody picking you up and helping you out of it. That's really how he learned how to do his boxing and how to do his what he calls backyard brawling. But he's really got a lot better hand game than everyone's giving him credit for. And of course, with Oyenhofer, he's now being trained at the famous Pat Miletich and MFS fighting systems. So you know he's going to come in very well versed on the ground, as well as being able to avoid the takedown. The question is, though, which guy is going to be able to implement their style quicker?
Well, I tell you, there, Trig, it's just interesting to see this match because, as you said before, I think it's really going to change up the tempo from all the other matches that we've been seeing. Where, as you said, that a lot of these matches have been taken to the ground, they've been finished on the ground right here. This, we're going to see two men that are going to be throwing a lot of leather at each other. And I think, who's going to come on top? Well, as you said earlier, who keeps their composure and who can avoid being struck at the same time.
The one thing, too, you have to kind of remember is that, Josh Rhodes is 4-0, but he's only fought 4 rounds. None one of his fights have gotten out of the first round. So my question is, if this does happen to go to the second round, because knowing enough, he's kind of smart. He will kind of run. He will get out of his way. He will defend. He will keep himself in this game. If it goes in the second round, what's Josh going to do? But his first time in the second round. This makes it to the third round. Now what happens? Because all of a sudden now you start to panic. You've never been in this position before. You're not comfortable with it. Now what do I do? And it's really going to be a testament not only to his athletic ability, but also how tough is Josh mentally to be able to handle all this. Now we all know Noah comes from kind of a weak mindset because of the way that he reacted in some other situations when he fought before. But what will Josh do? Josh technically is the better fighter on paper. If you look at the paper, he's better because he's 4-0 when Noah's 4-2. But that doesn't mean anything. Once you have the fight, you really find out what a guy's really like.
Oh, I agree. Well, we're going to take this back to ringside to Paul and the Colonel.
All right, thank you, Dan Severin and Frank Trigg. It's great to have 2 mixed martial art legends explaining what might go on in this next fight. Before we go to Josh Rhodes and Noah Inhofer for the CFFC Light Heavyweight Championship, let me tell you folks, don't doze off. On the East Coast of the United States, it's coming up to midnight. On the West Coast, I'm sure you're wide awake and bushy-tailed, but don't fall asleep now. Get yourself up, go get a cup of coffee, go crack down a nice scotch or something, and get yourself cranked up for these next 2 fights. Our main event of the evening is coming up. Ray Mercer and Kimbo. You're going to love this one, and I want you to stick right with us. Ray Mercer is not intimidated by Kimbo, who has intimidated everybody. Let's go to yesterday's weigh-in, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, kiddo. Coming up next, it's Josh Rhodes and Noah Inhofer, and this is for the CFFC Light Heavyweight Championship, and this should be a dandy, and it figures, Paul, to be a striking event.
I would say so, but don't discount Inhofer's submissions game. We didn't really get to see a lot of him. He kind of left in disgrace from the Ultimate Fighter reality show, but he's kind of an enigma, and he's training with the Miletich Mixed Martial Arts Camp. Now, I have not seen the Miletich camp tolerate fighters who don't have a well-rounded game. I can't see them putting a guy, especially a high-profile guy like Noah, into the cage unless he knows every facet of the game.
What happened in that situation? We've heard a couple of references to Noah leaving in disgrace. Fill us in for just a second.
He was basically, there's always drama injected into reality TV. It's not truly reality, and he was locked in a house, not allowed to leave, and told there was a situation going on with his girlfriend to create some drama, but it backfired because Noah said, fine, I'm going to go be with my girlfriend, I'm out of here. So he's been vilified by a lot of fighters for that, now seeking redemption here at Cage Fury Fighting Championships.
So I tell everybody the same thing. The fight's a 15-minute period, 3 5-minute rounds. I'm going to punch and I'm going to kick the guy as many times as I possibly can within 15 minutes. Whoever's hand is raised after that, it's whatever's going to happen. I'm fighting for the light heavyweight against Josh Rhodes. I don't really know much about Josh, and at this point, you know, I really don't care. He's got a lot of knockouts. I know what to stay away from. I came in shape. The guy's never been out of the first round, and I guarantee you that I'm going to push the pace of the fight, and we're going to test his conditioning. I don't think Josh is a world-class athlete or world-class caliber yet. So to me, I put myself in those bad situations over and over again, and I always, you know, I struggle through them, and I always come out on top.
All right, Noah Inhofer will be making his entrance very shortly. He's a striker who must outperform and stay busier than the champion. You can run on. Both of these fighters will have very much the same style, which should create the real brawl that we've been looking for all night. The professor, Noah Inhofer, he's a college boy studying speech at Vermilion in South Dakota. He's got about a year to go for his degree, but right now he told me I'm a full-time fighter. That's my concentration, and I'm in top condition. And I'll try to take this fight right to the limit by out-kicking and out-striking this guy as best I can. We'll find out if it's good enough to beat the champion, Josh Rhodes. Here he is, Noah Inhofer.
Josh Rhodes, I nicknamed him personally myself the Hammer. I mean, he has hammered out everybody he's fought. He's fought 7 fights, and they've all ended in knockout.
I'm not a big shit talker. I don't get into that. I think God created 2 people. People that can talk shit and people that can back it up.
Vicious right. No answer here, and the fight is over.
When I was about 14, everybody kept running when we were fighting, so we ended up digging a pit in the backyard because we couldn't afford a boxing ring. And to be honest, the first couple times I fought, I never thought I'd ever win. I just did it. Hey, I got in the ring one time, I did it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Rhodes!
Looks like he's trying to get that rear naked choke. You Jeff. Oh, didn't have a hook in.
Heavy strikes! Heavy strikes!
Whoa, he's out.
To be honest, I never really trained for fights before this. I mean, I was always in decent shape, and I just go in there and try to brawl it out and see what happened. But I mean, I'm actually taking it seriously this time, watching my weight and doing everything the right way this time. I was 7 fights, still haven't been out of the first round. I'm trying to keep it that way. If not, I mean, I do not want to go on a decision. I don't care if I get knocked out or he gets knocked out. I mean, hopefully it's not me, but hopefully somebody goes down.
Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City, New Jersey. The Colonel Bob Sheridan here with Paul Lazenby at ringside. We're expecting the walk now of Josh Rhodes, the CFFC light heavyweight champion. And here he comes, big striker. Maybe the best striker on the East Coast. From Independence, West Virginia, born in Morgantown, West Virginia. This guy's in top condition for this title defense. Noah, his opponent, is a striker, but it's hard to think he can outstrike Rhodes. But that's what the matchmaker, Gary Marino, says this battle is all about.
And I have never seen Josh Rhodes in this kind of condition. He was not blowing smoke when he said he's taking this fight more seriously than any fight before. That's as tight and toned as he's ever looked. And unlike Noah, I think this is one fighter you can make a call on. I think you give him his choice, he's going to stand and bang.
Well, the other thing is, he said, I'm not afraid to go to the ground either. You know, I was a high school wrestler. I got 9 years of wrestling experience. The kid's only 21 years of age. So if it goes down, he can wrestle if he has to. Hey, we're just about set to get this one underway. Our ring announcer, Chris Garrity, has moved into position. So let's get it going. This should be a dandy. Chris, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout is 3 rounds for the CFFC Light Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, the man standing in the blue corner. This man is an MFS elite fighter who holds a professional mixed martial arts record of 4 wins with 2 losses. He stands in at 6 foot 2 inches tall and weighed in at 204 pounds. Hailing from Bettendorf, Iowa, the challenger, Noah, the Professor Inhofer. His opponent is the man standing across the cage and coming out of the red corner. This man is a striker who holds a perfect mixed martial arts record of 4 wins with no losses. He stands in at 5 foot 10 inches tall and weighed in at 204 pounds. Fighting for Team Freestyle and hailing from Independence, West Virginia, he is the current reigning CFFC light heavyweight champion, the Jaguar, Josh Rhodes. And when the action begins, your referee for this bout is Mr. Mergliata.
So referee Dan Mergliata calls the combatants to the center. Let's listen in.
Good luck, guys. You both know the rules. Any questions on the rules? All right, nice clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands. Shake hands and go.
The Jaguar, Josh Rhodes, because he loves to pounce with cat-like quickness on his opponents. We'll find out. As we take a look at the tail of the tape, you see that Rhodes is going to be 5 years younger. He's 4 inches shorter, and he's a half-pound lighter than Noah Inhofer, fairly tall. You see the records, 4-0 to 4-2 for Inhofer. Remember the rules, 10-point must scoring system. Only the referee can assess a foul. No strikes to the spine or the back of the head, and we'll talk about further rules as they become pertinent. We're set to go with this one.
You ready? Yes. You ready? Timekeeper, let's go fight.
All right, here we go. Round number 1, scheduled for 3. These are 5-minute rounds.
And you can see Rhodes actually smiling as Inhofer immediately goes for a takedown as if he expected it. Now, Inhofer doing the right thing. Rhodes is known for being a knockout artist, so why stand and try to trade fists with him when instead you could try to take him to the ground?
Well, Inhofer is a guy who's been developing his striking power a little bit. He couldn't have got him right to the groin that time. Not intended, but it's still a foul. And now he goes with those nice Muay Thai knees to the thighs, the outside. Nice quick hand by Inhofer. Inhofer's come to fight, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, look at how calm Rhodes is. I mean, I guess he must have been working on his takedown defense because he doesn't look like he feels like he's in any danger whatsoever right here.
He looks like he's out for a Sunday stroll right now, looking around the ring, holding his hand up. What's this? This guy doesn't intimidate me. Inhofer blasts him, and it's a little bit of discouragement, I think, because now look at Inhofer comes upstairs. Nice quickness with that left hand upstairs.
Yeah, he's very sharp with his infighting as Inhofer, but great sprawl by Rhodes. And now heavy blows landing on the jaw of Inhofer.
And his Rhodes again, he shoots and takes him down. Nice double leg takedown. But look at this. Immediately Rhodes grabs him by the neck. And now Inhofer trying to get in position. Inhofer on top, trying to get those hands free. And again, it's like a stroll in the park for Rhodes. I mean, he's so calm and collected, Paul.
Yeah, you see now trying to work his back against the cage, but Inhofer doing the right thing, going immediately switching to the back of Rhodes, slamming a right fist into the jaw of Rhodes from behind, but Rhodes looking like he's just fine. Whoa!
Nice high Muay Thai knees. Caught Rhodes. Look at this, Inhofer doing the best he can, exchanging blows inside. Now they're calling for the dirty boxing. Explain what that's all about, Paul.
Well, dirty boxing refers to techniques of holding and hitting, holding your opponent's head secure with one hand and striking with the other. Illegal techniques in actual boxing, but entirely legal here in mixed martial arts. And speaking of boxing, we're seeing some ferocious strikes being traded back and forth. A huge elbow lands on the grill of Josh Rhodes.
Rhodes backing off a little bit as Inhofer pushes him to the side. Inhofer with the white stripe coming down the side. And now right back to Rhodes is his striking ability. Inhofer took a nice uppercut, but there's that Muay Thai kick on the inside.
Yeah, technique just going out the window, and Rhodes swinging for the cheap seats. Inhofer clinching up and through a Muay Thai. What a great matchup this is. 2 evenly matched fighters just knocking big chunks out of one another.
Well, you wanted to see striking, and you're seeing it now here. This is the CFFC Light Heavyweight Championship at stake. Both guys landing shots, but the better puncher is Rhodes. Look at this, and as they say that, Inhofer comes in, shoots down, double leg takedown. And now let's see if Rhodes can do anything. He's trying to lock up that neck. He's got one hand, one arm around it. Now if he get the other one in underneath, he's got some problems, as Inhofer.
Inhofer did a great job of shooting in off the punch, threw the punch and immediately dropped for a double leg takedown, changing his level. That's true mixed martial arts right there.
Well, Inhofer in the full guard of Josh Rhodes. He's tall enough to go into the ground and pound. Nice up kick by Rhodes to escape that.
What a chin Rhodes has. He just caught a horribly hard right hand to the jaw. His head had nowhere to go. All the force went into his head, and he sprung right back to his feet as if he'd been tickled with a feather.
Now Inhofer looks a little fatigued as he shoots again, takes him down. But again, a good sprawl. He doesn't get the control he wants.
That's the wrestling pedigree of Josh Rhodes and both of these fighters. I mean, you can't fight at that pace, throwing punches that hard for too long before you start getting drastically dried out, tired out, and both of these fighters showing that this fight's going to be a pyrrhic victory. Both of these guys are already wasted.
Oh, look at this. I mean, they just haven't slowed down once and right back on top. But I tell you one thing, Inhofer's come to fight here.
Inhofer bleeding freely, but throwing with warmth and abandon. Looks like he's got Josh Rhodes rocked up against the cage, firing the knees in.
Muay Thai knees. Wild, wild right hands. His corner calling for elbows. Tries to grab him around the head. Oh, nice looping right hand. Lands smack on the jaw of Josh Rhodes. Boy, Inhofer trying to get the knee up, and it's Rhodes who gets his up. These guys are really slamming each other now. A lot of fatigue. Look at the blood coming down goes Inhofer, but he grabs him again as they blast away. There's a cut on the top of the head. Oh, that might be blood from the nose of Inhofer.
Yeah, either way, both of these fighters are really feeling it. This is only the first round of a potential 3.
Look at this, Rhodes back to his striking game now. A lot of fatigue in those shoulders and arms right now, so you wonder how much power they have. Both trying to get a little bit of a breather here with just 16 seconds to go in round number 1. We promised you this would be a striking game, and it pretty much is. We've seen some nice Muay Thai kicks, some nice Muay Thai knees during the course of this first round.
Tight quarters in that cage. It's only 20 feet across, but neither one of these guys has needed it. They both moved forward for the entire duration of the first round, and now it's 2 weary warriors who make their way back to their corners.
How about that for first round? You wanted to see striking, you get to see it in that round. Inhofer bleeding from the nose. He may have a broken nose. His corner taking a look at him. Coming up to round number 2. By the way, who would you give that round to?
That's a tough one. I have to say, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to plead the 5th on this one and give it to the judges.
I'm going to lean towards Inhofer because I thought he was a little bit more aggressive. Take a look at the replay.
And now we check this out. The Muay Thai clinch work of Inhofer was fantastic, but Rhodes with that granite chin responding with haymaker punches. And now Inhofer, even though he was laid open, opens up with a salvo of blows and gets Rhodes literally running for his life. But once again, no matter how hard you hit Rhodes, he comes right back at you again. Very evenly contested round between 2 absolute studs.
Of course, our replay directors like to show the action, and it's not always indicative of how the whole round went, because now we come back and we see Rhodes doing some crashing power shots to the head and the side of the head of Noah Inhofer. Here we go, round 2, Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City, New Jersey. They're jammed in here for Cage Fury Fighting Championship number 5. Down they go.
And now it's Rhodes using Inhofer's own tactics against him, shooting in under a punch and getting the double leg takedown. And let's not forget, as we said before, that Rhodes has an extensive wrestling pedigree. Now in the side mount position, he's got Inhofer in trouble. Inhofer lifting his left knee to try to block Rhodes from going to the mount, but unsuccessful. Bad news for Noah Inhofer.
Well, he's trying to hold him off with that arm, but you see him skip forward with the hips. Does Rhodes? He knows exactly what to do. And now Inhofer does pull off the escape, and right on top of him is Josh Rhodes, blasting him. How much of this can he take?
Solid shots landing behind the ears of Inhofer. He's got knockout resistance similar to Rhodes. What a granite head.
He's giving up his back too, Paul. He can go in there when he decides to stop striking and go for that choke. He's got him in great position to go for it. He lets Inhofer up. He's the taller of the 2. He lets him off the hook. He wanted to continue the ground and pound. Slams him back down. Goes back to blasting him to the head. It's all over. The fight is stopped by the referee. Noah is defeated. Josh Rhodes retains his championship. The ground and pound in the end proved to to be too much. The strong striking game of Josh Rhodes this time. We said he was a big striker, and he was in the finish.
That's one of the great things about this sport, Colonel, is that it's not always the superior technician who wins. Sometimes it's the guy with the bigger heart or the better raw strength. There are so many variables, so many ways to win in a fight, and that was proven tonight. Noah Inhofer looked like the superior technician. His strikes were a little bit crisper. His technique was a little bit sharper. His takedowns definitely, for the most of the fight, looked better. But Rhodes, with more ragged technique, but those heavy haymaker punches just walked through Inhofer's offense and ended up retaining his title belt.
You know, Paul, you talked about the manners in which you can win here. Here's the different ways you can win in mixed martial arts. Submission by tap out, submission by a verbal tap out, a KO called by the referee or the doctor, a KO by failure to rise off the canvas, like in that case where Inhofer really couldn't get up, a decision by the 3 judges, and then of course there's the disqualification and the forfeit. So there's a lot of ways to win or lose in mixed martial arts. Watch this action, folks. You're going to love this as Paul will walk you through it. Great job by director Frank Belmont capturing all this, all our camera crew. Super job, guys.
And here we see Rhodes, the beginning of the end, as Rhodes steps over to the full mount position and just starts slamming home the punches. According to CompuCombat, landed 37 of 43 punches thrown on the ground. Inhofer spinning through masterfully looking for a leg submission, but Rhodes all over his action. Takes his back, slamming home the shots behind the ear. And here we just see the brute strength. Now, that wasn't the most technical suplex you were ever going to see, but just raw strength, picking up Inhofer, throwing him down like a rag doll, slamming home the punches behind the ear until the referee had no choice but to intercede.
When you count all of the unanswered punches by Noah Inhofer, the referee had, well, I mean, he couldn't much continue anyway, but the referee stepped in there just in time, because if you counted up, there had to be 20, maybe 25 unanswered punches where all Noah Inhofer was doing was just trying not to get hit too much, and man, it was unbelievable. So we're going to take a look at the CompuCombat scores and see exactly how it shaped up. But just a terrific finish for Josh Rhodes. He just really lambasted the guy. Had him in several different positions where he continued to throw punches. And the CompuCombat will show just an incredible amount of punching by Rhodes.
No surprise there, 109 strikes thrown by Rhodes. We knew he was going to be a striker coming in. Inhofer, I think, mixed up his striking and grappling game really well. Primarily a grappler, but primarily a striker in this fight. But he was more varied. He threw more knees. He used the tie clinch more. He threw more punches. But Rhodes, just a juggernaut. Walked through everything, landed 77% of his strikes, and ended this fight with him to extend his title reign and his undefeated streak.
Great stuff. Let's make it official. Here's Chris Garrity. Chris?
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dan Mergliata has called a stop to this bout at 1 minute and 13 seconds of the second round. Your winner by TKO and still CFFC light heavyweight champion, Josh Rhodes.
Great stuff. Winner in the second round. It came in a minute and 13 seconds like a bolt out of the blue. Several blasts.
And you see there Josh Rhodes being congratulated by the legendary brawler Tank Abbott. Tank fights exactly the same way, and he's obviously got an appreciation for our champion, Josh Rhodes.
Hey, there's talk about Tank appearing in Cage Fury Fighting Championship real soon. I hope we see that in Cage Fury 6.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can't really go by his record. Anytime Tank steps into the cage or ring, you know you're guaranteed excitement.
All right, Bobby Maloney standing by. Bobby, take it.
Josh still undefeated, but somebody finally took you past the first round.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us how you feel.
I feel good. I'm a little disappointed in how I fought. I feel I could have fought a little bit better. Noah's a hell of a fighter, though, man. I think a lot of people underestimate him. I didn't. I mean, I know the things he's done. I know he's a well-accomplished athlete, but you gotta remember, man, I am too. I ain't just some scrub that fought a couple times on the street. I've been in fighting for a little while.
Hey, Josh, it looked like the first round you got a little bit tired of sprawling, so the second round you came out and you went for the takedown. Was that the plan coming out?
Yeah, I just wanted to stand up and throw, but I mean, he kept wanting to go to the ground, so I had to make him respect my shot too.
Let's see if we're gonna get some of the replay here.
That's me walking. My jock strap's up above my shorts.
Thanks, Josh. Congratulations. Back to you, Colonel.
All right. Thank you, Bobby. And Josh, you're going to be a great blow-by-blow announcer someday. Great description. All right, kiddo. Hey, folks, coming up, it's the main event of the evening.
Yeah.
This is what Cage Fury 5 is all about. Ray Mercer, the former heavyweight champion of the world, is taking on Kimbo Slice, the man that likes to just take a slice out of life. Kimbo and Ray Mercer coming up. Well, there he is, the Ultimate Fighting legend. We talked about Tank Abbott. We're going to see him, hopefully, on Cage Fury 6 this fall.
I definitely would not want to miss it if Tank's matched up against the winner of tonight's main event. That would be another case of Cage Fury setting fireworks off right here in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
You take a look at Tank Abbott. I want to thank our statistician, Laura Taylor, for the great